Hello, welcome back to Socialpedia. And this platform used to be called Offin River Forum, but I've changed the name to Socialpedia, and this is the name I want to adapt. Currently at this moment, I don't know, but currently this Socialpedia, formerly Offin River Forum. So welcome back. My name, one more time, my name is African Professor One. So thank you for joining me. And this is a very, very informative platform. So tell your friends and family, everybody, your colleague, co-workers about this platform. I talk about a range of issues. It's unscripted. That means I don't write anything down. And it's also freestyle. So I talk about a range of issues, even though I may have a central theme for discussion at any particular, segment. By the time I finish this platform, this conversation, I will have touched on so many issues. And so that is what this platform is about. One more time, this is Socialpedia, and my name is African Professor One. So today's conversation will be about the ongoing conflict or war between Israel on one hand and the Hamas, Hezbollah, and other Arab countries on the other hand. So in other words, I'm going to talk a little bit about Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So the topic for this discussion is that I stand, personally, my perspective or my point of view is that I stand with Israel in a fight against Hamas and Hezbollah. Let me repeat the topic for discussion today. Even though I said this is unscripted, yes, this is a central theme, but I will talk about a lot of issues surrounding that conflict. So that is what it is. The topic is I stand with Israel in its fight against Hamas and Hezbollah. You see that I did not say PLO or Palestinians. I said Hamas and Hezbollah. And I was explaining a little bit about this two militant group, which is Hamas, which was formed somewhere in 1987, and then Hezbollah, which was engineered by Iranians, and it was formed in the southern part of Lebanon, Hezbollah, in 1982. So those are the militant group that most of the time engineer or orchestrate terrorist activities in that part of the world. So we talk about it. So before I give you a reason, I give you a little rationale behind my position, I just want to touch on a little bit history about the ongoing conflict in that part of the world, which is the land of Palestine. That now include the Jews or the Israelites or Israelis and Arabs and all kind of stuff. And so let me proceed this way. Let me start this way. Anybody who will tell you that the ongoing issue in that part of the world, Palestine, is so straightforward or is so simple, means that person does not understand the root cause or the profound underpinnings of the problem in that area. In other words, the problems in that area present a very complex set of issues. It's very, very complex, very, very complicated. And so none of us can just give a one, precise solution to what is going on in that area. So let me just give you a brief history, and then to set the ball rolling in terms of my position of why I stand with Israel in the fight against Hamas and Hezbollah. So before 1948, which is, to be precise, May 14, 1948, when Israel attained its statehood or gained self-autonomy, became independent nation. The land of Israel, that area, the Palestine, have been occupied by different people, right? Made up of, or different cultures, made up of Arabs, Jewish, and the Christians. In fact, the region itself was under the control of many empires, such as Assyrians, Babylonians, Persians, which is the present-day Iranians, Greeks, Romans, Byzantines, and later on, Islamic Caliphate, and even the Ottoman Empire. So, if you look at all this, it tells you that area has been under the control of different kind of cultures, different set of cultures and civilization. and each of them have a strong ties to that area, right? So so the history of Palestine shows that the area or the region called Palestine has been, a collection of various cultures and civilizations. But what changed the dynamics or dramatically, what changed the landscape or the political dimensions of that area, political, economic, social dimensions of that area, was the Six-Day War in 1967. There was a 6-day war between the Jews or the Israelis on one hand, and almost all the Arab nations, Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, all of them, Jordanians, all of them came together, on one side as an Arab against Israel in 1967. So in that 6-day war, to be precise, that's a fact. Israel almost has a total victory, pretty much destroy almost all the military infrastructures of these countries, which is Egypt, Jordan, Syria, wherever. So United Nations step in and then, call for a ceasefire. So they sign all kinds of ceasefire agreements and everything. And they have, a little bit peace, ceasefire, a little bit peace. But guess what? The 6-day war resulted in the Israelis or the Israel capturing the Sinai Peninsula, which belongs to Egypt. And then they have Gaza Strip, and then West Bank, the parts of the Jerusalem, Golan Heights, all those, a lot of strategic lands over there. During the 6-day war, Israel captured all those lands. And so it became, a point of negotiation. So they negotiated, and later on, I think Israel gave up Sinai Peninsula to the Egyptians, and they head on to other ones to this day. So if you can tell, when Israel captured those areas, which is Sinai Peninsula, Gaza Strip, West Bank, which is mostly made up of the Palestinians, Gaza Strip, like that, all those areas, and Golan Heights by the Syrians, all those areas came under the rule of Israel. See, so again, the 1967 war, the six-day war that happened in 1967, changed the economy of that area. And at that point, Israel became somehow a little bit more powerful in that area militarily. And so they have a bargaining chip or bargaining power in terms of that land. They use that land as a negotiation. But guess what? That around that time, let's fast forward a little bit. So when we get to somewhere in the 1980s, which is 82, Iranians pushed some of the Lebanese, because at that time Israel has also had some war or fight with Lebanon. So Israel has captured some part of Lebanon. So that led to the formation of Hezbollah, propelled or founded by Iranians. So the Hezbollah, every now and then they just release some rocket into Israel. And think about it. So what I'm saying, the reason I say that area, the conflict going on in that area is so complicated, and so it's not that straightforward. So it's easy to see that Israel, because Israel is powerful and they have all kind of sophisticated war machines, they can just fire all kind of missiles into those part of areas. And they pretty much relatively they are defenseless in the sense that they are not so sophisticated. They don't have sophisticated military materials or equipment, just like Israel. So obviously a lot of people will die. And in a war, we all know that when it comes to war, there's no precise definition. All war, has all kind of unintended consequences, unintended casualties, and all kind of stuff. So what happened is, anytime, Hezbollah release or fire rocket into Israel and Israel retaliate powerfully, obviously a lot of people, Palestinian kids, people will die or will hurt or wounded. So when that happened, then media dramatized them, showed them on the TV and see, look at this. Israel came to our land to occupy the area, and now look at what is happening. They're killing our children, defenseless people. So it made Israel look bad. But if you look at it so carefully, it's just like you're fighting with somebody. You are powerful. You are very, very stronger. You're fighting with somebody, and the weaker person is using somehow like children as a protective cover to fight you. So in other words, he threw some missiles or some rocket at you, and then when you retaliate, he or she used kids as a shield. So when you do that and the kids die or the children die, obviously you look bad because you are powerful. People look at you as powerful, or you should show some restraint, or you should be patient with the blah blah blah. So that is how complicated these things have become. So then again, there's another player, another formidable player in that area, which is Hamas. Hamas was formed in 1987 through some what they call now it became known as Intifada, which is a struggle for Palestinian homeland or Palestinian statehood. So again, like I said, if you look at the history of Palestine, it's a collection. It's made up of a collection of civilization. It has been under various type of, kingdoms. The kingdom of Israel, kingdom of Moab, kingdom of Judah, kingdom of the Phoenicians, all kind of kingdoms. Used to live in that area. So again, that area, the land Palestine, belongs to not only the Palestinians, it also belongs to the Jews, it belongs to the Arabs, Phoenicians, Syrians, or whatever. So each claim ties to that area. And so now it has become like the fittest of the fittest survive. So Israel is a very tiny land, and they also, historically, they also claim part of that land, just like the Arabs and the Palestinians. So if I'm powerful and I claim that area, that part of area as my, motherland or my fatherland, yes, I also have every right to protect my survival or my interest or my existence. So that is what is going on. So it's just like, it has come to a point where Israel, at least, like I say, Israel is the only country in that part of the world that possess nuclear weapons. They do have it, but they have not acknowledged it. But it's open secret that Israel has nuclear weapons. So it's a very, very powerful nation, military and everything. So, and it's a very, very tiny land surrounded by all hostile, countries or nations. So you can tell what kind of, the kind of delicate situation they are in. Obviously, you see that. So basically, that is how the dynamics of that area. It's not that straightforward. It's very, very complicated, and to be able to make an informed position in terms of your support to either Israel or the Palestine or the Arabs or wherever, you have to have a very profound understanding of the history of the religious, political, economic, social, dimensions of that area to be able to come to that conclusion. So if you look at what is going on in the news media, it's very, very straightforward. You can and you see all the Palestinian children dying, because as a result of the missiles or the bombs from the powerful Israel or the Jewish state. Obviously, the conclusion, the inference, you will just draw a straightforward conclusion that somehow Israel has been given a land and now they want to take over all the land. It's not that straightforward. So now Hamas, if you look at it, Hamas is a militant group that claim to be fighting for the freedom of the Palestine. But in Hamas case, as opposed to the PLO, which has been recognized worldwide as the legitimate, representative of Palestinian people, they want to negotiate. They are more moderate, and they want to negotiate with the Jews or with the Israelites to have, they also want to have their own state, just like Israel, so they can live side by side, the state of Israel and the state of Palestine. But the Hamas is like it's a militant group within Palestine, within Palestinians, and they in their charter, in their law or their charter, in their manifesto, they don't want Israel, the state of Israel, to exist at all. They want to establish a state, Palestinian state, to replace Israel. That they don't recognize Israel as a state or as an entity. So they want to, wherever means necessary, to get rid of the Jewish or the state of Israel, is what Hamas is doing. So that is what makes everything complicated, because Israel also see Hamas as existential threat to their survival. And so the whole thing is, I would say, Hamas is one of the major problems, major reason that this area is on fire now, because Hamas doesn't want to recognize the existence of the Jews or the state of Israel. It's just like Hezbollah. Hezbollah is also fighting a proxy war for the Iranians. So both these two or these three, entities do not want the existence of Israel in that area. But like I say, if you look at the history of that land, it's been used to be occupied by the Jews, Arabs, Palestinians, so they all claim, ties to that area. So it's not that straightforward, or it's not that easy for anybody to just sit there and just use. Yes, it's sad to see kids become a pawn in the war that they do not have anything to do with it. But that is the part of the war. That is what makes war, no matter what it is, unnecessary or should be avoided in any part of the world. Because when war begins, nobody, no matter how well prepared the combatants are, no matter what, with the trajectories of the war, as soon as the war started to unleash, nobody can ever predict the trajectory or how the war should go. So for me, the reason I say I stand with Israel, I think Israel has every right to exist, just like Arabs, Palestinians, and everything. And so, yes, as a Christian, and looking at the history of Israel, in the part of Christian narrative, I think, I would say, if I have a choice to choose between or to choose among the combatants, I will go for Israel. So that is why I think Israel has every right to defend themselves, but they should proceed with caution, or they should be circumspect in their war with the nation surrounding them, because they're using children to make Israel look bad. But if you look at it carefully, the history of that area presents a complex set of issues, and the history also shows that that area has been occupied by Jews, Arabs, Palestinians, so they all claim part of the land. So if I also have part of the land, yet I have every right to defend where my part of that land. So that is what is going on now. So it's a question of the fittest survive in that area. So that is what is going on in that area, and that is why I choose to stand with Israel as a professed Christian. So that is what it is. So one more time, this is Sociopedia, and my name is African Professor One. Subscribe, share with friends and family. Spread it out. This is Unscripted Forum. I don't edit anything, and I don't, exaggerate. Wherever you see is what it is. So one more time, this is African Professor One, and this is Sociopedia. I'll talk to you another time. Have a great day. Bye.